Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. We always appreciate your time, and we are going to get right after it as usual. Today, there's so much stuff coming out recently that I want to address. So, here's the deal. I am not going to be the first to release things, but dang it, when I do, I hope you can see we've got good content, because content is what we're going for. I want you to walk away feeling like you will have a better idea of how to approach the world around you. You are maybe thinking more clearly. You have processes that you can use that'll benefit you and the people around you. And we're going to get after that with today's episode of You're the Problem. This is number 23. That means I've got two more. And then I am done with this particular kind of episode for at least a while. We'll see. Maybe it'll come back next year or something like that. But in the short term, I got to wrap it up because I'm going to be moving into some other content. You've probably noticed I'm doing some family stuff and have been for a couple of weeks. I'm going to keep that rolling out. I am also going to, we'll see. I'm continuing the questions for Jeremiah. So if you've got questions, ask me. But today I want to hit something that really intrigues me. The amount of judgmentalness that we experience in our day-to-day activity is going to become really evident in today's episode, because I'm going to do more of my traditional style of You're the Problem, and we are going to raise some eyebrows, cause some issues, and hopefully walk away better as a result. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at something that is hugely challenging for a lot of folks. I know there's a lot of emotion that goes into different things in this world. And there has been nothing short of what we would call a tragedy going on in Maui. And we have to address it here, because if I'm going to truly represent healthy perspectives, then I have to be willing to look at all things, everything. And some of them are going to make the podcast, some of them won't. But this Maui thing is a big deal. And I'm not here to break news. That's not what I do. So that's why, in part, I don't have to be the first one to release something. But what I am going to do is, my hope at least, is help you see things differently. And so to that end, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And so we're going to get after it. We are going to look at a couple of clips that I have pre-prepared, and we are going to begin our process to see what we can look at and how we can see these things play out, and then infuse empathy and understanding, and just as importantly, perspective. Okay. We want to look at perspective. So what I have right here in front of you, those of you who are watching on YouTube or Rumble, what I have is, in the middle of Maui, there's clearly some fire-burned structures. This looks absolutely terrible. And then we've got some well-dressed people and some media coming in, and there's not people wandering in the background. It's, there is actually a couple of people wandering in the background, but I don't know what that's about. But these people coming in, I mean, if you take a close look, you're going to see that is President Joe Biden. We are going to look at this from many different angles. Okay. So hang in there with me. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to let you see what's actually going on here as he approaches a podium. He's walking up, holding hands. As he approaches, he lets go of hands, and he takes his spot. Now, let's be real. This is staged chaos. The chaos is real. It happened, but they picked this spot for multiple reasons. Why? The walk up was safer for President Biden. Let's be real. He's holding hands because he's not the most agile, stable person. He has aged a lot. Look at all presidents when they go in the White House and when they come out. It ages folks. It's aging him, and he's already, I believe he's the oldest president we've ever had. So it's aging him very rapidly. And we can tell just in the walk-up, they're holding his hands, they're clearing the path. And then let's listen and let's figure out what's happening here. First of all, before I go into that, actually, what's going on in Maui is devastating. In Maui, Maui is part of us, the U.S. Maui is a part of us. If you don't feel some sensitivity to the people that are struggling there, I'm going to be real with you. You're part of the problem. When people struggle, it is normal for us to have a visceral internal reaction. What we have to ask ourselves, is there anything that I can do? And if you haven't asked yourself that, you are the problem. This is devastating. If your neighborhood was hit by something like this, would you not need comfort? Of course you would need comfort. Of course you would need comfort. You would need somebody not necessarily to save you and rescue you, but you do need somebody to love you. You do need somebody to make sure you've got clean water, air, shelter. These are basic needs, a place to sleep that is safe. You need those things. And right now, they need those things. Now, yes, this is staged, but does that make it wrong? Look, if you see that as the reason why this is bad, this standing in front of a podium that has the United States seal on it, if you think that's bad, you are part of the problem. We want this kind of media recognition in chaos. We want it. It draws the right attention. And more importantly, it allows us to do the most basic things. We could definitely send money, but let's say we don't have the ability to do that. We could definitely, feel something for these people. That's good. We could pray for them. That's great. We might know somebody who can help. We might be able to send some toothpaste. I don't know if it'll get there before before it's needed. I mean, clearly, we never know what little act that you can do that might cause an improvement. Looking at it that way might be a healthier perspective. And if you can't see that, you are part of the problem. Like this is not for you carnivores or vegetarians out there, but the old saying that says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. When chaos hits, when devastation is rampant, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This is actually a bite. So kudos, credit for doing it. All right, let's listen. I'm going to let you listen to his initial, because I'm approaching this from a different perspective, and it's going to play a factor in the next couple of things that I do. All right, so just listen, and here we go.
Well, hello, people of Maui. Shown such absolute incredible courage. That's not hyperbole. I want you to know, on behalf of the United States of America, all the nation, The American people stand with you. Governor Josh Green, you've been incredible from the day we've spoken on this. You've been way ahead of the curve. Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke, Brian Shantz, our senator, Senator Maisie. By the way, Maisie, I told my granddaughter, whose name is Maisie as well. She said, that's why I like her. Anyway, but her name is Maisie as well. And Jill Takuda, Representative Ed Chase, and Mayor Rick Bassin. Rick, when we talked on the phone, you look like you played in defensive tackle for, I don't know who, but somebody good. But
Okay. Y'all can dislike me for saying it, but he's old, folks. He's old. He can barely get through his sentences. I don't dislike what he's trying to do here. But if you can't see that, you're part of the problem. I'm going to be really honest. The more I see him walk up the way that he does, speak the way that he does, represent our nation the way that he does, the more I realize he will not be our next president. Go ahead. You vote for him if you want. I'm not telling you how to vote. I am simply telling you he won't make it another term, folks. And we can see it in what's going on. I did a podcast not too long ago, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. I don't know. It's been a little while, but I talked about what kinds of questions we should be asking in order to make a decision whether he can make it through another term. He can't make it through another term, folks. He can't. I don't mean to wish him ill. I am at the core of everything that I am. I love God. I love people. I want the best for everybody. You, your friends that you're going to send this to, I want the best for everybody. He cannot make it another term. I'm telling you, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm a mental health guy. I've seen the signs. I know what questions to ask. You can go back and listen to that podcast if you would like. He won't be able to do it. He's slurring. He's fumbling. And every once in a while, he gets clearer, which is good, but it's not enough. You're talking about the leader of the free world, the leader of the United States. I got to tell you, if you can't see that, unfortunately, you are part of the problem. You really are. Okay. I'm going to go into this next one. I'll let you see this. He was giving a speech again. And remember, we want to empathize. I mean, the dude's old. That doesn't mean we hate him. We don't hate him.
I don't want to.
Well, I don't hate him. Maybe you hate him. I don't. I think he's old. I think he's outdone himself by being in the presidential office for this long. But I don't hate the guy. He's hopefully living the best life that he can. That being said, there's a lot of I talk of corruption and all that stuff. That's a different podcast. I'm not going to get into that at the moment. But if you can't see his age, folks, if you can't see his inability to connect A to B to C with clarity, you are part of the problem. All right, listen to this next one.
Compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill.
What did he just say? I don't want to compare difficulties. But then let's listen to what he says following. I don't want to compare difficulties, but Jill and I,
what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake. It's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat.
All right, folks. Well, what we are witnessing here is he is trying to relate. If you can't see that, you're part of the problem. Does he do a good job of it? No. No. Clearly, no. You're in the middle of a devastation to thousands, and we're talking about a house fire. But did he try? Look, folks, empathy, you get credit for empathy. You need to give credit for empathy too. He is attempting, he is trying to relate the best he knows how. And it's sad and pathetic, but he's trying. Give him credit for that. Outside of that, did you hear his mannerisms, tone, volume, cadence? Do you see the look on his face in this video? The man is exhausted. He is doing more than he can handle, frankly. And if you can't see that, you are part of the problem. I could go on and on with this, but I got one more clip for you because this is one that I have seen such a lack of empathy that it's driving me nuts, and a lack of empathy on all accounts. All right. I'll explain here in a second. All right. So here we go.
Never met before. We are a community that relies on family, on ohana, whether by blood or by friendship. But like many others, my son's home.
Folks, what did you just see if you were watching on Rumble or YouTube? What did you just hear? This right here is a ceremony. It's a ceremony to acknowledge those who have passed, who have faced devastation. This is a memorial going on. And what is President Joe Biden doing? There are people who are twisting this, and they are saying that Joe Biden was not sleeping. He was bowing. Listen, folks, if you think that was bowing in prayer, you have not been paying attention to President Biden. Dude was starting to fall asleep. And do I hate him for it? Heck no. Dude is old. He's traveling. He's all over the place. Now, I don't want to have a pity party for Joe Biden. Like, yeah, he's tired. But if you can't see that, you're part of the problem. Look, we're spinning so much hate that we're losing our healthy perspectives. Dude is old. Dude is exhausted. And as the president of the United States, he's got so many things going on. He can't stay awake. Okay. Do I hate him for it? No. Is it representative of what we want as a nation? Also, probably not. He's old, folks. Not only that, but let's twist it a little bit. You ever been in an important class? Maybe in high school or college? You ever even been to some place you want to be? Go to a play or a concert, and you just had a really long day. And you start dozing? Is it a sign of disrespect? My grandmother taught me something a long, long time ago. I don't even think she meant to teach me, but she did. She had these leather easy chairs. I know it's old fashioned, but it is what it is. My grandfather had one of them when he was with us. And we'd get to come in and sit in the other one, which was really hers. They would sit in these easy chairs that were the table in between with, things to read and, and stuff like that. Anyway, I would fall asleep in that easy chair sometimes. And I remember her saying something like this. She said, I woke up and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry for falling asleep." And she said, don't be. And I'm like, but I'm a guest in your home. I shouldn't come to your house and just fall asleep. And this next statement reshaped everything for me. She said, I'm glad you're comfortable enough in my home to fall asleep. And I went, holy smokes. Yes. Yes. Now, I'm not suggesting you go to your next meeting and you fall asleep. There are better options when you're at some kind of an event that is very important. Stand up, walk around, do some push-ups. I mean, obviously some of these things he's not going to be able to do. If the president stands up, like all of a sudden the whole room is going to be like, oh no, what's going on? So, he has some limitations. Maybe, or maybe he could have strategized that a little bit better. That being said, the fact that he was comfortable enough to fall asleep, I mean, if you can't see look, I'll tell you what that tells me. That tells me the people of Hawaii, of Maui in particular, were so welcoming that he just felt comfortable. He felt comfortable. Good on you, Maui. Good job. Thank you for doing that. Do I wish that he'd have handled it a little bit different? Sure. But the people of Maui, good on you. If you can't see that, let's be real, folks. You're part of the problem. Yeah, he fell asleep. That was not him in solemn prayer that some people are trying to tell you. No, dude was falling asleep. And if you can't empathize with an old man, regardless of their role, there's something wrong with you. Go see a counselor, because that's messed up. That's what I got for you today. I hope it wasn't too much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.